Hi, my name is Jerry Brown. I'm president of the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club. We have been here since 2006. We have members strong of 35, and let's try what else we have here. This here is Eastern Yard. As the name says, this is the eastern part of our layout. And as you can see, we have a wide variety of passenger as well as freight. Our layout runs with NCE control systems. We have what's called hammerheads, which are pro cabs right here. And they are wireless. We do have a few members who do have wired hammerheads, but they will be converting over to wireless. We now go, as you can see, we have west and east direction, so we'll be going eastbound right now. We are going to Eastern Yard on Eastern Yard area. Going through here, we can have a choice of either doing two things. We can do a runaround through the layout, or we can go down through a helix down to our hidden staging location underneath. This location right here is called Catch-All. This here is Catch-All. As the name says, it catches all, everything and anything. We have the AWKEYE Corporation, which is the Wile E. Coyote division. And as the sign says right there, home of the Wile E. Coyote products, Catch-All plant. We then come around here. We are now over to the Union Station coach yard area with the town in the back called No Name City. Some of you may recognize the name from a Clint Eastwood movie called Paint Your Wagon.
This guy down here.
We have some large buildings here that populate No Name City. If you go and look at the windows here in Federal Building, you'll see various department heads as well as departments that the federal people are employed at. Some are real names and some are fictitious and some are a play on words. We are now coming around Union Station Yard and heading into ADM Archer Daniel ethanol plant. As you can see, we are in the process of putting this on the layout, but we do have the track work laid down and everything is operational. We are now going through the curve here and going to Western Bluffs. We are now on the western side of Western Bluffs with additional buildings for businesses. We have 9 sidings in Western Bluffs. As you will notice, the train sizes vary in sizes, but we try to keep the train size between 12 to 20. eastern side of Western Bluffs. We are approaching Fairlane Junction. Reason why it is named that way, if you look through the glass here, there is an antique car museum on the other side, and on the other side is a Fairlane. So, obvious choice. We are now going past a steel mill roll construction site that is in progress. We are now approaching Lower Branch with the viaduct going from Lower Branch, and the viaduct is on the main line. We are now approaching the power station. The power station name is Kohler Power. We also have another steel mill location with a small town of Midway. We are now approaching Truett's Bridge. This bridge has been on 4 different layouts, and this here, as you will see, I can press down on it very tightly and with a lot of strain, and it is not budging. All held with Elmer's glue, no nails. We are now approaching Liberty and South Liberty. South Liberty is on the lower section here. Liberty is on the top section. This is one of our most detailed towns we have on the layout. We are now approaching Shirtline Junction, which will have the railroad split off, so you can go down to the Lower Branch area or remain on the main line, which is the upper section. This here is our most detailed section right through here. This was built back in 2006, and this is one of our most proud possessions we have on the land. We are now approaching Rockport. This is our second of 3 detailed towns. In the background, that is the most expensive part of the entire layout. These are the cornfield stalks that are done by Keller or Kohler or something like that. I'm not exactly sure of the product name, but this is the most expensive portion. We are now coming over to O'Brien's Farm. And at O'Brien's Farm, we do have a detailed farmhouse, which I will now display. The roof comes off, and we have interior for the second floor. And once we pull that off, you will see the first floor interior. And remember, this here is HO scale, so of course in the basement of the HO scale house is an HO scale layout. We're now approaching River Junction. This part of the layout, the public can push a little red button on either on the inside of the layout here or in the antique car museum section, and they will be able to run trains, only 2 trains. We're now approaching Atchison, and as you can see, we have the main attraction is a brewery, and if you will notice, Santa is here at the brewery because on the 24th and 25th he was very busy, so he's wanting an adult beverage. We are now approaching Iowa City. The whole layout, this is the most representative of the area that we are located in, which is the Coralville, Iowa City area. So naturally, Iowa City is the most accurately modeled portion. We also like to have a little fun with our layout, so we have various things that we move around. One of the items is a shark, and our shark has a tendency to think it's a human being. Sometimes it thinks it's a bird. Sometimes it actually thinks that actually it's a shark. So you will never know where it's at. We are now approaching Deer Valley or Deer Ridge, depending on who is running the layout at the time. But Deer Ridge branch line is this line that's going upward here. This is still the main line down here. We are now coming to a quarry that's been closed, and we are in the process of putting more detail to it. And as the sign says right here, do not touch water. Well, unfortunately, the water is still wet. You will see various items that we have for texturing the layout. We use the old method of sawdust, which you'll see through here, as well as Woodland Scenics products, as well as various manufacturings of trees, as well as homemade trees. Over here you will see that some of the scenery is not done. The reason for that is because we are a educational club, so we want to show the public on how things go from beginning to end. We are now approaching Butte Junction. This is an area where we can have trains that need to be offloaded the layout, so we have holding cells, boxes underneath the layout. We are on the top ridge here is still Deer Valley or Deer Ridge, and this is Mineral Point, which kind of will represent the frac sanding that's going on in the Midwest. We are now approaching around the peninsula here. We are coming to River City and approaching the end of our tour. On the upper level, you will see the Midwest agricultural business, very finely detailed. When we have op sessions, we do have business on the other side of the railroad here, so we'll go through the door right here. And we have Ridgeville, which is basically a agricultural business location.